to HistoryWise channel.
In 1918, the world was already bleeding from the wounds of World War, but as millions fought on the battlefield, another enemy was preparing to strike. An enemy far smaller, far deadlier, and completely invisible.
It was a pandemic of influenza that struck in the early months of 1918. It struck in, we generally say it struck in 3 waves. So there was a first kind of mild wave in the Northern Hemisphere spring of 1918, which receded in the summer or late spring. Kind of all the dates depend on where you were in the world. And then there was a second wave which erupted in the latter part of August, and receded towards the end of that year. And then there was a third wave which was sort of intermediate in severity between the other two, which emerged in the early months of 1919.
This was no ordinary flu. It hit fast, often killing victims within 24 to 48 hours after symptoms appeared. People would wake up feeling normal, and by nightfall they could be fighting for their lives. Fast forward to 2018. A team at the US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention CDC under Dr. Terence M. Tumpey, a microbiologist who became the first person to successfully reconstruct the 1918 influenza virus in a secure CDC laboratory. Dr. Tumpey originally did this work in the early 2000s, but further studies and genetic analyses continued through 2018, refining and expanding understanding of how the virus functioned and why it was so deadly. While many researchers were involved in follow-up work, Dr. Terence M. Tumpey of the CDC is the scientist most closely associated with reconstructing the 1918 Spanish flu virus, the project often described as one of the most controversial in modern biology. The purpose was not for weaponization, but for scientific study to understand why that virus killed over 50 million people a century earlier and to prepare for future pandemics.
Thank you for watching and studying. Please like, comment, and subscribe on what history you want me to unveil next.